This is a different kind of a video where I'm actually gonna talk and draw at the same time and show you what I do when I do my thing. So I've already done my sketches for this design. I'm gonna do it in two ways to show you two different styles. So the word I'm writing twice today is Alonzi. And I want to guide you to this side real quick. So this is my main template. So this is just a 10 by 10 canvas. It's my default size for single words for Etsy. Um, yeah, I kind of keep them all here so I can find them later and find them in their parts because these are the parts, the layers to things. Anyway, the first thing I do is I plug in the sketch and I get it resized. And then I just kind of start tracing over it. So I'm going to do this design first. So make sure I'm on a separate layer. Actually, first I reduce the opacity so I can see through to my white background a bit and my black lines stand out a bit more. So anyway, I keep track of what's concentric, what's not. I start with the sentence circle normally. I line it up there. Then I just do a bunch of elliptical select tool brushing, going around. Let me shrink it. Going around. Make sure I got all the little things. Actually, you know what? This one I'm going to show you a style. So instead of doing even lines, I'm going to do these as like my pretty classic curvy lines. So instead of shrinking them all together. So I'm using a Mac right now, but I press like command and stuff to change if it's going to expand from center or retain dimensions. So from the corner, I push the button to get the fixed aspect ratio, which is shift, and I shrink that. And then I hold both expand from center and shift to get the width. And yeah, so I'm going to do this one kind of at this like angled skew. So here we have our sentence circle. And I'm going to go ahead and add in our word circle. So I've noticed that these weren't perfect circles, right? So I can adjust those to get this realigned back into something that will work for me to trace. And I'm even going to shrink it down a little bit because it won't fit anymore. Actually, I have to deselect. Okay, because now all of my letters will fit in here actually. And then I'm going to recenter it. So I work heavily off of a sketch. Okay, there we go. All of my sentence things should be able to go into that. So my sentence circle, well, this is not my sentence circle, this is now my word circle, is going to be about yay big right here. Go around that corner. Everything. Erase. This is going to get pretty monotonous pretty soon, I think. Anyway, so I have my word. And now I'm going to do something here. So I'm actually going to have all of these aligned with the S. So I'm going to keep them all relatively concentric. So it's a hyphen, the end line. And to make that happen, I'm going to set up a new layer. So that way I can erase and keep things happy. So this is going to be that outermost line. I have it wrapped there. Shrink that corner, shrink everything. I'm actually not going to shrink it this much. I want these lines to be a bit thinner than our regular, but I still want it to be vinyl cuttable. I'll shrink her a bit more. I think that's good. A lot of eyeballing in my process, by the way. And then I want this middle one to be the same for both the N and the middle one of the hyphen. So I'm going to go ahead and do a full thing, and I want this one to be about the same sort of a deal as that last one. That looks about right. Yeah, it's about right. This one's a little thicker, whatever. And then for that last one, the third one, I want to make sure I'm eyeballing these spaces to make sure they're the same. And here we go. Shrink that corner, shrink everything, expand that corner because I went too far, expand it a bit more and shrink everything. And unshrink, oh boy, I clicked the button. Sometimes these things will get clicked and you'll lose your, like, ability to control. No, this one's way too thin. There you go, here. That's because this button got clicked, girl. I think this looks right. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And I'm going to shrink it down a good chunk more. Because I'm going to do the S thing. So I'm going to hop back down to this layer, which has this stuff on it. Because this has this stuff, this has this stuff. And directly on this, I'm going to go ahead and do our T-stem just by filling in this area. So long as I get that corner in and that corner in, it's fine. Because then when I shrink this, I want to keep that about the same thickness and this about the same thickness. And I erase. Now, as long as I don't touch that stuff up there, then I chunk it. But if I just keep it within line and erase, it's fine. And I'm going to shrink it again. And now I'm going to do the same thing here. To get that thing. Neat. Okay, cool. So we're getting there. Alright. So this is going to be my line on my N. These are going to be my 3 on my hyphen. I'm going to go ahead and do my N. Now. Yep, I want it on this layer, so that way when I shrink it, I don't erase the line underneath it. Okay, now I'm going to clean up my lines. I'm going to change my brush size to be a bit smaller. Why you beeping me? Okay. I'm going to go back to this line, and now I'm just going to clean up these. So now it is a hyphen. But then if this is a hyphen, this can't be a hyphen because it would just be 2. It would be more like an apostrophe. Unless I crop it all. Oh, I'm going to crop it all. That'll be good. Okay, so I have decided I'm going to crop it all into one, canvas. I'll do that later. I'll do that at the end when I trim it up. Okay. So we have the N, we need our lines for the S. I'm gonna do that on this layer because I don't want any of my lines to actually touch each other so I can erase and change things if needed. And I want this to pretty evenly bisect everything. So I'm gonna start it here and see that it cuts through not how I want it. Ah, this cuts through about how I want it. And I'm gonna have this one be a bit thicker. Oh, that's too far away. More thickness. Goes to about yay. And then, oh, that one's too thick now. Yeah. Well, I think I like that. I'm actually going to make this one a tiny bit thicker, too. So I'm just going to go over it. Too thick. Because I want to keep that kind of gradation that I have going for this whole thing consistent throughout. Okay, now I'm going to have this last one be the thinnest. Yeah. Now I'm going to clean these up. So this is not the most forgiving way to draw, which is why I always do a sketch first. Because, I'm just tracing over my sketch. Or have a real good idea of what I want it to look like in the end. I'm going to do the Y now. So the Y I can tell is way too big to be how it was in the sketch. But I have a pretty good idea of what I want it to do. Because I want it to have a concentric big dot. Actually, let me drag this out. I'm on the wrong layer. Because I'm going to put the Y there. Yes, like this. So I need my Y to be on my lines thing, otherwise I wouldn't be able to erase and not destroy my word circle. So I want the Y to be like extra thick for reasons. No, I want it to be honestly extra thin because the extra thick dot will look cooler like that. And it's toward the thin side of things. So there's that. And I'm honestly gonna keep it in an exact like concentricness by not like doing the corner for the big dot. Yeah, I like that. That looks good. Okay. Now I have a dot chain that continues from the Y to the double L. So here's a dot there. And I'm going to go ahead and do my dot chain first. That's a little bit smaller. Just to see what sort of room I end up having for putting in my actual circles for the double LO. Neat. Okay, so that looks like a good dot chain. Dope. Okay. Well, I have an idea for this. I'll go back to that later. Okay. Because I need this L to be a double L, which means I'm going to need a lot of space for it. Well, as much space as I can get. Okay. Here. I think that'll be good. Okay. And I want it to be on the layer I won't interfere with, which is this one. Cool. And I'm going to have these exact concentric as well, just to make it a bit easier. To make them look like one unit. Make sure these are the same. They look about the same. Cool. So there's the double L. And then we're going to do the O. Do I want the O here? That would be okay too. Double L-O. No, I want it up here. I want it in the middle. And I'm going to have the O be kind of thick just because I want it to be. I normally have these buttons unclicked so I can do the hotkeys with my keyboard, which are, for me, Command and Shift. Okay. And I like to erase the center of the consonant when I have the vowel on it. So A, oh, the A. The A is an important bit. So the A is actually at the end of the word right now with how I have it. Because this is like the bottom, so this would be Lonzier, which is fine. I'm just going to rotate it in like a second. Because I need this to be on, yep, that one. Weird. Okay, cool. So that's that. The only thing I'd like to fix is having this end line containing all the round to be a part of a hyphen, because that means it's ambiguous on if it is a hyphen or if it is a apostrophe, because this could be like just the end line and these two could be the things. Anyway. Also, so anyway, this is my plan. So these are grouped, right? So I'm gonna select my group over here, and now I'm gonna adjust and transform this. Well, maybe not, because that's okay. There we go. So I'm gonna scale it up way big. Okay, scale. It's taking a minute to render that. And then I'm just going to use my canvas to crop it. And I might add a bit of a fade to it too. Nah. I'm not going to do that. Yeah. Like this. So now I think that this line is a little bit too long right now with how this is set up. So I'm actually gonna shrink that and show you how this can be manipulated. Ooh. This can be manipulated a bit. Okay, I like that. Oh, and let me also do my rotation. So I'm just going to change this to rotate and get that A right in... No, I'm going to do it kind of off to this side because I do like that angle existing. So as long as this A is at the bottom, it will read right if it's one word. So this needs to be at the end. So this is the bottom. This needs to be at the end. So it is. It's fine. This A at the bottom. Do I like this? Yeah, I like that. So I'm going to clean up my lines a little bit, which are on this one. So I'm actually going to erase this line, which I can do, and I can erase just that line without interfering with anything by, like, just erasing that line. Because it was on a separate layer than anything else it was touching. So I'm going to go back in, make this the appropriate size. And just have to be careful about eyeballing the angle. And that's too thick. And that's too thin. I'm adjusting the size of my brush with my brackets on my keyboard. Okay, cool. There we go. Clean that up. And I like my rounded edge. I can change the shape of my brush to change the shape of my edge. Or I could, like, you know, manually do a thing. But, meh. Anyway. So I'm going to clean these up now. Middle click is how you drag your canvas, by the way, in GIMP. And most things, actually. You know, I think I'm also going to thicken up that line. Just to make it balance more. Yeah. So for line thickening, I have the inside selected, right? And as long as I don't pass over my line, it should be like I just thickened it up. Like, pass over it like this, because then it won't have a crisp line. So I just kind of like play like operation. So I noticed an eraser mark for when I did my erasing. So I'm going to unselect. Ooh, I just rotated my canvas. If you accidentally rotate your canvas, which is a big mistake, go to View. Oh, you can't see that. It's in my file. Go to View, and then you go to canvas rotation, or just flip and rotate. Yes, reset. Okay, because how you do it is if you have Command and middle click pushed at the same time, then you will rotate your canvas. Gotta erase that and this. Okay, cool. Neat. ALLONS-Y. Alonzi. Woot. Okay, so that was one style I kind of showed there. I could adjust it on this canvas a little bit. You know, I think I am gonna do something else real quick. So here's my lines. Yeah, I'm gonna take my eraser. Okay, so if I click this right here, and if I hold Shift, it'll give me like sticky line points. Because I just want a line to go straight across the top to give me a bit of space. Oh, that was too thick. Just to kind of like make this look like it's not supposed to be continued on like thing. Because I want to be able to cut this as a decal and have this stay nicely and be fine. Oh, I also want to show you this. So I could also recircle. So this is annoying. If you wanted a concentric circle and you didn't, you know, plan for it in your initial, like, go over, you have to realign manually. There's no easy alignment tool for this. There is an alignment tool, but it aligns to, like, the size of the layer. So all of my layers are actually the same size, even though they have different things drawn on them, which is a problem for this. So I just kind of go around and make it the same, which is annoying. but I wanted to show this to you. Okay, so I have that there, and I'm going to expand it. So if I wanted to make this like erased there, command invert or selection invert, which select is here, and then you can go to invert. I forgot where it was. Invert, or you just do the hotkey, and then you've selected outside, so you can erase like that. I'm gonna go ahead and put another ring around it, just because that would be nice. I'm gonna put another ring around it. So instead of drawing, actually no, I'm just gonna do a black border. I enjoy this. I like this. This is good. No, this is not good because of that. Ha. It would be good if it were aligned. So I'm gonna align it. Bit better. Now I have to go do that whole thing again with the whole like this bit. Good enough. Alright. Yes. So I inverted my selection, and now on a new layer, paint this kind of like a window. Huzzah. Cool. Okay, so I'm noticing a little gap there, but that's easy to fix right now. So all I gotta do is invert it again and shrink it enough. Yeah. And then invert it again, and then draw around it. Boom. LMZ. Okay, cool. So that's one done. So, neat. I'm gonna show you a different style now. So that was kind of the basics of how I do like the loopy style. I have a couple more tricks I want to show. So here's LMZ again, except, you know, sloppy. Because it's a sketch, not a notebook. So I wanted to do some kind of chunky things to it. So first of all, let me go ahead and grab this and move it in the middle. Yeah, that'll do. I need to shrink it too. Oh yeah, everything's twisted now. That's fine. Just shrink it. It'll be fun. It's good. I can always expand it. I work on a big canvas. This canvas is like 300 dpi, 10 inches by 10 inches, which is a lot of space for a single word, because this is a completely raster program, which means it's, you know, pixels and junk. So yeah. So this one I'm gonna have a loose circle around it, and it's gonna be small. That's too small for me to like ever cut that and make it a decal. Okay. And then in a different layer, I'm gonna do this next bit, because this is kind of a trick that I figured out. So I start with this thing, and I shrink it down to like where I want my inner chunkers to go to. Erase it all. And then I expand outward to where I want, like sometimes I do like a whole halfway. No, that wouldn't fit very well. I'm gonna do it to here. Okay, so I just kind of erase bits. So like where there's gonna be stuff, I erase bits. I'm gonna erase this whole bit. We're just gonna have a little chunk there, 'cause, yeah. Okay. And then kind of in a similar fashion, I can add bits here. Yeah. It's hard to get the edges to be how you might want them for something like this by doing something like this. But hey, you have lots of, freedom. Okay, so that would be that. My chunks done. Added chunks. Anyway, so those are what I like to call chunks. Got my chunks added. And then this thing is gonna need to be a tiny bit smaller because I want to add a chunky Y there as well. But I want it to be concentric. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get this sketch to work out. Make it shrunk. I'm gonna go back to my matte one. And I made them on 2 separate layers because in adding chunks, it wouldn't. Oh no, it probably would have been fine if I had them all on the same layer. So anyway, I'm gonna do a thicker. No, I want it to be proper thicker. Yes, like that. And then this, like that. This is gonna be the inner one on the S. Probably could have made my life easier by doing this one on a separate thing from when I erase it all. Yeah. Okay. This is all of my concentric stuff I need here. I'm gonna go to this layer. No, I'm not. I'm gonna make a new layer. Because I'm gonna go ahead and do a Y now. Come on. Okay. And I'm gonna make this one chunky too. Yeah. So I want the Y to be centered in this chunk bit. So this is like my outer chunk. I'm gonna shrink it. And to get my chunkiness, I'm gonna erase bits after I invert it. There, that looks like some nice chunks. I'm gonna invert it again. I'm gonna shrink it. I'm gonna erase. I'm gonna grow it. I'm gonna get some more chunks. I like chunks. Chunks are nice. I don't like that chunk there though. I'm gonna do these chunks again. How about like there? And like there. That's it. That's it for chunks. No. Yeah. Okay. Chunks. Some chunks. Oh, I don't like that. That looks weird. Looks goofy. And I'm just using Command Y and Command Z to kind of go back through history because I want that to have space for the bubble. Yeah, I like that better. Okay. Sweet. Okay, so that's the Y. I'm gonna do the S next. I want the S to be a bit bigger than it's shown right now. A bit lower. So like, oh, I have it on move active layer. Let me give a move to pick a layer. And I'm gonna move, yes. That. So my S and double L, this is gonna be more accurate. So this layer, I can't do my S like I normally would because these two are the same layer, so I have to put the thing at erase the middle line that I want on my S. So that's unfortunate. So I have to do it on a separate layer. So I'll use this one. So I just eyeball it to make sure this is like the same size as this. And then I'll erase. And then the tricky part, I have to reduce size because I want to erase only like this chunk. Let me make it a bit bigger so I can do it faster. This bit here. No, I want my S bigger than that because this is not enough like bubble out. So I'm gonna make my S bigger. Yeah. Because I'm gonna save the line here and here. I'm gonna erase all of this. All of this is gonna get erased. But I still want my S to be substantial. So, anyway. So, yes. I have to do it on this layer. Want it to be concentric. Grab this one. Yeah, there we go. And erase all of this. A little bit of operation skills. Okay, cool. Sweet. I'm gonna do my N now. Actually, I'm gonna do my LLO. Oh man, I wanted the O to be centralized too. I don't think it'll fit with how big I did my Y. Yeah, it's worth redoing. Sad. So I'm actually gonna, all the work I did on the Y, I'm gonna like nope out of that. Get rid of it. Cry a single tear in my sleep at night. I'm gonna find the center of this. Okay, I think that's lined up. Well, and then I distort it because I buttons. Okay, well I guess, is that really the middle of it? I guess. Well, I want it to be about yay big. And I wanted a dot in the middle of it too. Just because. Dot. Because I'm doing this bit. Yeah, that bit. So I want room for my last dot there, but I want this to feel like it's kind of in the middle of that. Smaller. So my lines underneath were confusing my eye for like the size and shape of a circle. Sorry. It was making, so you know how when you have circles lined up on top of each other, they sometimes look like not circles? That's why I have my opacity down often for like my sketch layer, because these are not circles in the midst of things that I want to be circles, and my brain says no sometimes. So here's my double L. And then right in the middle of this, I want another little circle. Yes. Ooh, but now I want the circle inside. Or do I want to make this one bigger? Ooh, what do I do with the funny little things? Because I was going to have a dot here and a dot here. But now I want them both inside. Yep, I'm going to make my double L bigger. Because I'm nuts. I'm going to have a double L as big as I can make it, with room still for my N. So I'm going to rotate this down a little bit, because my N's got to go here. But it can't be at the bottom, because that's where my A is going to be. And I can't be like LLA and S-Y. So that would not be L on Z, that would be Lonzy? Yep. That would be great. Ooh, what if I do the big dot in the middle and then just have the one? That's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna do the dot in the middle as big as I can make it and still not have it touch. Yes. Or what if I do make it touch? Still looks like a dot. It still looks like a dot. Okay, cool. That works. And I'm gonna put this one somewhere. And put it here. Like a champ. Boom. Dot. Actually, I'm gonna put this dot in a separate layer in case I want to move it. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and do my A as well now so I don't forget. I'm gonna do the A a little bit. Okay, because this is in line here. Now this chonker's in my way. How dare it? Oh, I could... No. I'll put my A here. And I'm gonna rotate the whole thing at the end to make the A at the very, very bottom. Yes. I've reworked this one a lot already. That happens, by the way. I do rework a lot of things from the sketch still. Yeah, this will look fine when it's at the bottom, I think. Tell you what I am going to do, though. Wonder if you can guess what I'm going to do. Man. Ha. You know what? A little bit smaller, yeah. And I gotta invert it. So these look nicer, I found, with larger sized brushes. Mix between. Yeah. Good enough. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to go back to my A. I'm going to make a little cubby for it. Boom. Yes, that looks good. I enjoy this greatly. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to do the N. I'm going to nestle that right in there. Ooh, but I want to have it, but I can't. I want it to be bigger than my O. Ew, this is obviously a no because it's on the thingy. Yeah, I'm going to shrink my O. This one's had a lot of reworking, I apologize, but I think this one will end up looking better. Oh, I can't shrink it that far. My O is going to be shrunk like a tiny bit. But it will matter. Yes. Okay. Yes. So anyway, this is the size of my O now. And now my N will be bigger. Barely. Pushing it. It's fine. Okay, cool. So, yes, I'm going to put my N here. Do I want the N to be thin or thick? I want it to be thin, because I think I'm going to change my line to pass through it. Yeah, and I'm going to have the line up with that O. Okay. And same thing here. I'm going to go ahead and do a thing. So I'm going to make a new layer, because these lines are going to kind of cut through everything. I want a big honking line. Yeah? No, too much angle. But that is what angle those guys are at. Because I want the line to bisect from the N through the O. So I'm just playing with it. Yes! That is where we be. Okay. I have ideas now. Okay, I want this one to be thicker. I'm changing my sketch drastically. It's fine. That lined up, you think? Those look even? Okay. Because this is going to be my line on my S. And this is going to be a line on my N. And these are both going to go to dots on my Y. Yeah? Yeah? Okay. I don't know if I'm going to make my Y chunky anymore. I think it's got a lot going on. I should have made my chunks last. Then I would have an easier time lining things up. Okay. Neat. So I'm going to put a dot there, dot there. Oh, I should have stitched it to make this one thicker. I'm going to do that right now. That looks about right. Cool. Got him. Yes, I enjoy this. Cool. My Y's gonna be here. Well, the question is to make it chunky or to not make it chunky. The answer is to not make it chunky. Just because space is already tight in here and this already looks busy. But I am gonna put a small dot here. And a big dot here. Boom. That's erase, yes. Okay. Need my hyphen now. But other than that, this is starting to look busy with that dot in there. I might put the dot here. I'm gonna put the dot there. Oh, my dot. Where'd that dot at? So this is the deep inner workings of my brain as I, agonize over where to put dots. Put it right there. Yeah? Yeah? I should make these dots the same size. I should make these 3 dots all the same size. Which one is the biggest? That one is that big. This one needs a little bit of a bigness. There. And this one. Yeah, boom. Okay. Cool. And I should make those 2 the same size too. This one seems bigger. Cool. Boom. Okay. And one more thing I'm gonna do here. Well, 2 more, because I gotta do this thing. This is gonna be easy. They're just gonna go this way. Yep. Let me go to a layer where nothing will interfere. Yeah, we'll put the lines on the same layer. Yeah. Yeah. I want them all to be parallel. So I'm gonna use my shift trick to see if there's anything good, but I want them coming from the middle. Okay, I'm gonna need a new layer. Because none of them will suffice. Because I know that this is the middle. So I want the lines to all 3 radiate from the middle. And I want this one to be bigger. Uh-huh. No, I want them bunched a bit more. Let's be smaller. Okay, I want a more distinguished, like, noticeable size differentiation between the big one in the middle and then the little ones on the outsides. So I'm trying it a 3rd time. Okay. Now for the small ones. Smaller. Okay, cool. Now to erase the extra junk. Cool. There those are. Sweet. This could be done now, but I'm not gonna let it be because I'm nuts. Maybe. I might spend some more time fiddling around and then dislike everything I did. Okay, sweet. This is all in one layer, so this will be easy to mess with. Oh, I also want to show you this, because this is an annoying thing that happens on GIMP. So, it will only slick things on your canvas. It will save the maximum size, and you just bring it up to be as big as it was. So, yeah. And then you shrink it down. Except you cry because you made the whole thing too big because I didn't want those to touch. And maybe like this. Or like this. Or like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to add another ring. Just going to add a decoration. Because reasons. Because this space feels empty. That's what I'm trying to fix right now. I don't like this empty space right here. I'm gonna go ahead and hide that completely. Like this chunk. I do not like that. That chunk makes me grumpy. So what I should do is draw. This is gonna interfere with things, isn't it? Make new layer. Yay! So I want this white space to be the same as that white space. My chunk, which I failed at doing. I need the whole thing to be more in the middle, so I don't want this to be a particularly thick line. Just want it to be a reasonable line. Yes, like this. Okay, I'm gonna do a thing. I'm gonna bisect it. Layer mode. I don't want to be on that layer. I'm gonna be on a. Adding another layer. Okay, right through the middle. Like so. And here's an obnoxious thing. So I'm going to use this to kind of connect up my sentence circle. And it's just going to be a bit annoying. So I want to find... So now I've gotten sloppy with all of my extra things. Connect up my sentence circle. That probably made no sense to you guys. It will make sense in a bit, I hope. Okay. So I've done that. I'm gonna erase bits from this thing now. Because they can't do anything inside my word because lines are a problem. Okay. Neat. Okay, I'm gonna do one more thing. So, two more things. This thing gets a makeover. We'll erase that. I'm gonna thicken this up. This is acceptable. I like this design. This design is good. Yay. Because these are all one line. It's fine. Oh, I gotta twist it. Okay. So let me actually group these all. Can I do that? Oh, I don't think so. Yes, I can. Okay. So let me put these all into this folder, which I should have done before. Have groups in my groups, so my groups can group while they group. Yep. Okay, now I'm gonna adjust and transform this thing. Because ALLONS-Y. I feel like that needs to be thicker too. I like that angle the best. I've got to move my whole thing. I'm moving active. And center it best I can with my eyeballs, because this is the thing that's also garbage with GIMP. That looks about the same as that, and this looks about the same as almost that. Now it does. Okay, cool. I'm gonna save it, which I should have done before. And I'm gonna look at my clock just to see how sad I should be about how long I went over my expected recording time for these two designs, because yeah. Yeah. I like this one better. It took way longer. This one's cool too. But anyway, so let's take a look back at. Let me make a new layer group. Add layer group. Put these all in it. Yeah. Because there's this Alonzi, which I'm going to hide my sketch. And this Alonzi. No, this one's still good too. Okay. Anyway. Bye.